Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sinika Alboy, the founder of Axiologic Research. We are entering an era where decentralized social networks have the potential to revolutionize societal structures and governance. Today, I will try to convince you that, given the complex challenges of our times, these platforms serve as vital experimental grounds for pioneering new forms of social governance. Historically, brands have influenced societal change. Decentralized brands could drive innovative social technologies. So let's explore the transformative potential of decentralized social networks and the potential role of decentralized brands. Today, I'm here to share a narrative with you that explores the complexities and challenges of our rapidly evolving world. Before we dive in, let me echo the words of Albert Einstein. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. So let's spend some quality time understanding the problem landscape first. We're living in an era marked by the acceleration of history. Technological advancements, particularly in communication technologies and artificial intelligence, are reshaping our lives at an unprecedented pace. While these technologies offer incredible opportunities, they also present personal challenges, contribute to social instability, and even pose civilization-level existential risks. Now, you might be wondering, what's the central problem here? I want to introduce you to the concept of Moloch, the god of arbitrage. This metaphorical deity represents the many self-destructive behaviors plaguing our economic, cultural, political, and social systems. Moloch is the force that makes us prioritize short-term gains over long-term sustainability, often at the expense of societal well-being. But don't worry, this presentation isn't all doom and gloom. In the latter part, we'll explore potential solutions to these challenges. Specifically, we'll delve into the concepts of decentralized brands and decentralized social networks as social laboratories for fostering a more equitable and stable society. So please sit back and engage with me on this intellectual journey. Let's start by dissecting the problems before we venture into the realm of solutions. Let's delve into justifying why history appears to be accelerating. I hope we can agree that we're facing many interconnected challenges that amplify each other, creating a feedback loop of complexity. Firstly, on a personal level, social networks fuel narcissism and exacerbate individualism. This has led to a surge in loneliness and shifts in gender dynamics affecting our social fabric. Secondly, economic factors like increasing inequality fuel the fire, eroding social cohesion and trust. The term precariat is a portmanteau of precarious and proletariat. AI will probably move most of us into the precariat social class, defined as people lacking meaningful ownership and control of their lives, depending on something, or even worse, competing for little scraps in an inhuman economic environment. The growth of the precariat social class and the looming risk of AI supplanting human labor will most probably fuel societal unrest and volatility. We understand volatility in the sense of acceleration of relevant historical events. This volatility is exacerbated by waning confidence in democratic institutions and existing elites. Additionally, the phenomenon of elite overproduction serves as a harbinger of future instability. We could expect a dual trend: increasing centralization of power for the elites controlling the artificial intelligence and diminishing human roles in leadership, management, and even employment, contrasted by a growing pool of skilled individuals searching for purpose. Naturally, left-behind individuals may opt for dismantling the existing system. Looking at the recent history of fascism and communism, we could safely assess that when young but unwise, smart people are leading revolutions, somehow idealistic but focused on their egotistic goals. It does not typically go very well for humanity. This is even more frightening in the age of nuclear weapons, biological weapons, or potentially in the age of artificial intelligence semi-gods. So lastly, we can't ignore civilization-level existential risks. The potential for an AI singularity poses questions about the future of humanity itself. And let's not forget the looming threat of climate change, which has global implications. As has been the case throughout history, elites, political, cultural, or intellectual, including us as researchers, stand to lose more if societal stability unravels and revolutions led by irrational or desperate individuals begin to erupt. I believe these risks are tangible, yet there appears to be insufficient dialogue and even fewer proposed solutions. This may be due, in part, to the complacency of the intellectual elites who currently enjoy a comfortable status quo and not enough incentives to disrupt it. I want to repeat that these issues are interlinked, each amplifying the impact of the other, creating a sense that historical events are accelerating. We should slow down the acceleration itself without stopping the evolution of technology and progress. We should create solutions to bring hope in the future by creating a path for inclusiveness and distribution of the scientific results' fruits. Now let's delve into the concept of Moloch's race, a metaphor that encapsulates the dilemma of acting against long-term interests for short-term gains. Imagine a race where even the winner loses in the end. Sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? Yet, that's precisely the kind of system we find ourselves in. Our current economic model is rife with wasteful practices, planned obsolescence, overproduction, and resource depletion, to name a few. We're also seeing a surge in speculative investments and mindless competition, further eroding social trust. All these factors trade resilience for efficiency, leaving us vulnerable in the long run. Adding to this is an exaggerated craving for certainty, manifesting in techno-religions like dataism, a concept coined by Yuval Noah Harari, and an over-reliance on science until we fall into scientism, that is more cargo cult than real science. All these often come at the expense of wisdom, which is crucial for navigating an increasingly complex world. Now, let's bring this into the context of social networks. These platforms seem designed to exploit our basest emotions: pride and envy, greed and lust, outrage and wrath, sloth and superficiality. They encourage us to chase short-term satisfaction at the cost of long-term well-being. So how do we escape Moloch's race? The answer lies in optimizing for long-term gains, which requires discipline, effort, and acting with intent. It's about making choices today that our future selves and society will thank us for. Let's explore the source of Moloch's power, which largely stems from widespread beliefs in the concept of arbitrage. These beliefs often manifest as axioms like arbitrage is desirable, arbitrage is inevitable, everybody has a price, or the notion that you can measure everything with the same measure, and the same measure is almost always the dollar. Such beliefs perpetuate the idea that wealth is the ultimate measure of social contributions, among other fallacies. In economics, arbitrage involves exploiting price differences in separate markets for profit. Extending this to society, it's about leveraging imbalances for gains. In politics, this could mean exploiting policy inconsistencies for political capital. One could argue that people engage in emotional or social arbitrage in social interactions. They may invest time and energy in things where they perceive a higher emotional return and disengage from those they deem less rewarding. Essentially, arbitrage can describe any system where imbalances are exploited for various forms of value. whether financial, social, or political. Unfortunately, Moloch, as the god of arbitrage said, reigns on a staggering lack of sophistication in understanding the nature of money or currencies. In his books, the much regretted economist Bernard Lietaer describes a spectrum of possibilities between yang money and yin money. Yet our society seems fixated on a narrow type of currency. History may very well judge our era as one with an unhealthy obsession for the yang money that is very useful in arbitrage. Fiat currencies and decentralized cryptocurrencies are created to exploit arbitrage opportunities in commerce, investment, or get-rich-fast schemas. All these are rooted in the lack of understanding of the nature of money and the amazing opportunities of combining the yang and yin aspects of money in various combinations. However, let's not lose hope. While arbitrage may be the root cause of issues like uniformity, which breeds systemic fragility, corruption, exploitation, and the concentration of resources, there's a silver lining. The concentration of power can be creative, even if that includes self-destructive creativity. Technology, particularly decentralized technologies and artificial intelligence, offers us a beacon of hope. It could help us navigate a complex world organized around millions of currencies, each representing different forms of value and social contribution. With purpose and intention, the arbitrage could be slowed. Therefore, the volatility and the speed of history could be slowed down. Therefore, while Moloch's power is formidable, it's not invincible. We have the tools and the potential to defeat Moloch and rewrite the narrative. Now let's pivot to a more optimistic note and explore the concept of decentralized brands as the tools for defeating Moloch. You see, brands are not just marketing gimmicks. They are essential tools that help us navigate social complexity. They serve as heuristics or shortcuts for decision-making in a reality way too complex for us to understand fully. Interestingly, we already see signs that the world is evolving towards something I coined decentralized brands. Consider open source projects as early examples of decentralized brands, driven by community contributions rather than a centralized authority. Similarly, cryptocurrency systems like Bitcoin and Ethereum are decentralized brands that operate on blockchain technology. Online communities too are emerging as decentralized brands. They are self-governed spaces where people come together based on shared interests or goals. Furthermore, we're witnessing the rise of decentralized digital ecosystems that leverage technologies like blockchain and AI for governance. So what's the generalization here? Decentralized brands can be thought of as organizations or ecosystems, whether online or offline, that utilize technologies like the internet, social networks, blockchain, and AI for governance. Most human organizations are essentially brands with growing potential for these to evolve into decentralized brands. This shift could be a game changer in organizing society and tackling the challenges we've discussed earlier. Let's delve into a concrete example that brings many of the concepts we've discussed to life. The digital trust ecosystem, or DT for short. Digital trust ecosystems have the potential to unlock immense value for entire industries through blockchain enterprise use cases. What's fascinating here is that these ecosystems often require collaboration between competitors, a radical idea indeed. DTEs serve as live experiments in decentralization, governance, and of course, decentralized brands. they offer a practical framework for reorganizing economic efforts or public services to be more transparent, efficient, and hopefully socially beneficial. I'd like to share my experience with my involvement in such an experiment through the Pharma Ledger Association, PLA. PLA is an association between top pharma companies, research organizations, and SMEs. This initiative is the result of a research project that has successfully brought a use case for the pharmaceutical industry into production. PLA is actively exploring the digital trust ecosystem concept, and the early results look promising. Sometimes it is quite difficult. The pharma industry is complex, but the decentralization concepts are important enough to create value. From data sharing, digital sovereignty, and rapid de facto standardization of real software solutions in such a big industry. In essence, the existence of digital trust ecosystems like Pharma Ledger signals that we can go beyond theoretical constructs into real-world initiatives. This provides a solid method for demonstrating the viability of decentralized systems and decentralized brands. They give us a glimpse into a future where collaboration and decentralization could become the norm rather than the exception. We can only hope that such successful experiments will pave the way for the cultural transformation of numerous organizations, moving them away from the influence of Moloch. The aim is to transition them into digital trust ecosystems where trust is increased and guarded by technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence. Perhaps one day, services provided by states or supranational organizations will be organized as DTEs. Today's dominant governance models are mainly centralized, whether around strict hierarchies or only a bit better around the powers of sometimes dubious majorities. Although alternative models exist, such as the flat organization type of governance model with agile, holacracy, or decentralized autonomous organization governance model, their influence remains minimal. I don't advocate for entirely replacing current governance models. My emphasis is on boosting resilience by larger adoption of decentralized governance principles, harnessing AI and blockchain opportunities. This will counterbalance large corporations and state government powers and foster new values-driven collaboration types that are impossible without blockchain and AI assistance. Decentralized governance aims to offer flexible alternatives to traditional models. For example, it champions systems one can leave if they no longer resonate on the level of values and behavior. This presentation champions research and exploration. Instead of an ideal future based on a monolithic set of values, we should aim for a diverse array of decentralized brands, collaborating and competing, all contributing to a fulfilling human experience. Drawing inspiration from William Gibson's words, the future is already here, but it's not evenly distributed. Let's set up experiments to distribute it more equitably and wisely. Our objective is to moderate the pace of history for the safety of our civilization and drive a transformation that encompasses everyone, including the political and economic elites. Let's clarify. Billionaires and successful elites can play positive roles, like offering success models for young people. However, it's our shared responsibility to stop elites from getting caught up in Moloch's games. Let's go a bit deeper into the solution part. I believe the only solution to the myriad challenges we've discussed lies in starting with numerous research projects around decentralized governance, projects that potentially have a strong impact on the real aspects of people's lives. Think of these as social research laboratories In my opinion, the decentralized social networks provide an ideal setting for such large-scale experiments. My presentation is based on the idea that future research projects should create a set of experimental decentralized social networks that incorporate antibodies against arbitrage and Moloch into their nature. Technologies are not politically neutral. Therefore, it is crucial to have tens or hundreds of such experiments mature to the level of adoption by local communities, decentralized brand-based businesses, or even public authorities in a later phase. Why are decentralized social networks the most appropriate places to start? Well, they offer a platform where ideas and technologies from DTEs, decentralized brands, or socially beneficial crypto systems can be brought to the masses. These networks can serve as testing grounds for new forms of governance, economic incentives, and social interaction. The future of decentralized social networks should be rich and multifaceted, incorporating economic incentives, local currencies, and even decentralized brand currencies. Crowdfunding mechanisms could also play a role. However, the success of these initiatives will hinge on the alignment of local communities, large non-governmental organizations, and even states and public authorities towards successful research results in these areas. I want to end my presentation with this thought. The potential in this domain is so vast that it could keep humanity busy exploring the possibilities for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. We are beginning a new era that promises to solve some of our most pressing challenges through innovative and inclusive solutions. I strongly believe that our major challenge as humanity is to create good governance. Governance is a social technology that can benefit from the evolution of other technologies. These governance technologies must aim to slow down the speed of history sufficiently to provide humanity with opportunities for safe exploration. Additionally, they must allow time to enjoy the fruits of technology without hastily entering dangerous areas unprepared. Ladies and gentlemen, as we end this presentation, I'd like to leave you with this idea. Outsmarting exploitation is the greatest promise made by artificial intelligence for humanity. We've discussed many challenges and opportunities today and a path forward. This presentation is mainly a call for research collaborations on new initiatives that can reshape our world for the better. Specifically, I invite you to consider contributing to projects creating DTEs, decentralized governance experiments using blockchain and then AI, and decentralized social network initiatives. Many of these could, in one way or another, be built, starting with innovative decentralized social networks that can bring the relevant stakeholders together. These platforms can act as genuine social research laboratories, providing real-world testing grounds for new forms of social and economic interaction. In conclusion, I strongly believe that the future is not set in stone. It's a canvas waiting for us to paint it. Let's seize this opportunity to collaborate, innovate, and build a future that benefits humanity. Thank you for your time and attention today. I look forward to potential collaborations and an enriching journey ahead.